if you would like to check out what's going on, we've got Demon Souls over on WoolieVersus. Reggie is doing his best, and I believe in him. We've got Yakuza 0 continuing. And yeah, right now
Yo, I want to talk to you about Yakuza 0.
okay. I
I
want to talk to you
saw
about Like a Dragon.
I really? Okay.
You first.
I saw a clip of that guy who pulls a gun on you to steal Dragon Quest from you. And you like getting very upset over Theme of Sadness. And I want more context. I need more.
There's a mission in Yakuza 0 where you are helping a kid who gets his game stolen from him by a thug, who then gets his stolen game stolen from him by an even bigger thug, and you have to hunt them all down in this ridiculous hijinks, chase them down the street, and practically slipping on banana peels until eventually you eventually get to the low-level Yakuza guy who has robbed the bigger thug and is now basically like, fuck you, you're not getting this game, I'll kill you. And then he pulls a real gun out and shoots you, and you have to defeat him and his real gun, which Kiryu did take a bullet. I did get shot once. And then after you defeat him, he explains that he's doing this to get a copy of the game for his child, and this is because he wants to be a good dad. And then the sad music plays as Kiryu feels bad about the fact that he was only trying to shoot you to get a copy of this game for his child.
Yeah. So what's the problem with the music?
So then the music kicks in, and then the kid shows up, and it's like, oh, turns out that's the dad of the original kid you're trying to help. Plot twist, it's all okay. Let's just ignore the part where he pulled out the gun and shot you. Now, admittedly, he shot you in video game fight world, not in cutscene world.
But he pulls the gun out before video game fight world.
So this and a couple other missions, including the one where a bunch of dudes expressly threatened to sell a child into a pedophilia ring and then get beat up and run away, are setting me up for some major ethical quandaries. And
so
I understand that we're dealing with criminals in the 80s, and I understand that people roll their eyes when Woolie tries to apply his world morality to things, but you're going to hear me yell about it anyway.
Okay,
because it's fucking ridiculous.
I have some clarifications to make for you. First of all, it is criminals in the 80s. However, I should tell you, the criminals in the 90s, the aughts, the 10s, and the 20s will act trivially less differently. It doesn't matter. This is forever. This is the Yakuza series. This will happen literally, actually 50 times a game. Because there's always 100 sub-stories. And half of them are always this.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't fully know who Kiryu is yet. However, I have been given the impression so far within these, I don't know, couple of maybe 10 hours or so, I've been under the impression that he happens to have a heart of gold despite whatever else he is doing, saying, and or what his profession is.
He does, in fact, have a heart of gold. That's why he helps that lady learn how to beat the men in front of the children.
Correct. Okay, so that's why when someone tries to murder someone because they have a sad kid they're trying to make happy, that person shouldn't just get off the hook. Crazy thing to say. But yeah, it turns out that's kind of weird.
I'm going to tell you a couple things that may or may not help you, or you will hate them. Okay? I don't know how far you are in a 0, but I know you've done some heat moves. Okay? In Yakuza 6, there is a speech that a character gives to Kiryu about how the reason why he's the greatest legend that ever was is that he's managed to do all this without ever killing one person.
Right.
And then 10 minutes later, you are shooting down helicopters with an RPG. Like, literally 10 minutes later.
So I did a heat move as Majima, and I don't know if Majima is professed to have the same clean slate. In fact, the plot
not quite.
The plot is sort of implying that he's making these decisions, right? It's going, do you have what it takes? And they're having their sake, and it's like, oh, the sake tastes bad because you're here, and and all that shit. But there is a heat move with a knife where you just fucking shake somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
You just shake them.
Oh yeah. There's a fucking, I think we'll use a 2 or 3 or whatever. There's a goddamn heat move where you pick up a syringe off the ground called Mystery Syringe. and you just stab a guy in the leg with it and he dies. Okay? So
did you die? Because I believe you would have died.
Oh, I didn't like it. So here's the thing. Step 1. Kiryu, Majima, Akiyama, Saejima, whoever you're playing as. Okay?
Is that Fish Boy, Nishkin?
What? No, Akiyama's from 4 onwards.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of characters. But you're going to play as a bunch of characters over the course of the series. But right now, let's talk Kiryu and Majima because you're in 0, right? When a character pulls a gun on them, and they are not doing so in an expensive cutscene, the character you're playing as knows they're in no danger. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Like, cutscene damage? Like it's taken to the nth degree in the Yakuza series. Because there's the video game gun, and then there's the cheap cutscene gun.
Yeah. Like X 1999, right before the fight starts, a violence barrier is erected around the room, and all violence that takes place inside that barrier, that Kekkei Genkai, doesn't actually happen.
Okay, so the difference here for almost everything else is that the character you're playing as knows that that's happening.
Okay.
They are aware, or not, maybe they're just so badass and manly that they're really genuinely unworried about the fist v gun fight they just had. Because they know that they can go down to the M Cafe and get a Staminan and they'll be fine. Right?
But if a masseuse gets shot in the ribs in the cutscene, that's a real shot of a real bullet.
Very important. Yes, it's very, very upsetting. All right, so that's step 1, is the character's acknowledgement of the cutscene rules.
Yep.
The second one, and this is going to be controversial. Some people are not going to agree with me, but it's important for your understanding that you may have already interpreted this slightly. And now, while it looks like it and sounds like it, the Yakuza games do not take place in anything even close to approaching reality. The rules that we live in with our lives literally do not apply. In fact, they are straight up like Buddhist morality fables.
Okay.
Like it is like the logic is purely thematic. It's not like the plot sometimes dive bombs itself for the theme, and you go, that doesn't make any sense. But thematically it would, because they saw the error of their ways, or whatever the fuck it is. Right? And so therefore, yada yada. It is a series of like mini moral fables.
And actions are non-literal.
Actions are almost unimportant.
Okay.
Unless they're in an expensive cutscene.
Okay.
And here's the rub. Kiryu going, yeah, whatever, you literally pulled out a gun to shoot me? Okay, that's okay, haha, right? Or I'll forgive you even though you're going to sell that family into sex slavery? Haha. Everybody makes mistakes. What you really need to focus in on what the conclusion of those storylines are, because the conclusions are occasionally like nightmarish. They're just like, and it's like, games and politics and all that stuff. Like Yakuza will just tell you what the developer thinks about this situation, and oftentimes you'll be like, seriously, what the fuck? Really? This is the takeaway?
I would even say that I'm getting the impression that the conclusion, like, only matters in as much as it's like, in some cases, can we get another punchline out of the conclusion? Right?
Oh, in some cases. In some cases, you have to remember that the people stop existing when you turn away.
This is true, too. I did a fucking mission where I walked into a restaurant and a chef was verbally abusing his sous chef, his staff.
That's right.
And she was like getting it like hard, like spit in the face level of like, don't you dare even talk to this animal. And then after some hijinks, it ended on a note of, well, it's tough love and he really cares and he's going to teach her to be the best chef she can be, and don't worry about his assholish ways or the fact that he treats her as a subhuman, because in the end it'll all be fine. It's just the rough edges, There
is a ongoing, almost laughably naive view of redemption in the Yakuza series that is it is everything that you ever complain about times a million.
Okay.
And
so, yeah, okay. All right.
And it's like it's built in, and it really is of the belief that anybody can turn it around.
Yeah. No matter what.
Now, one thing you should watch out for,
except for a dead body, but go on.
One thing sometimes, dude. So you don't know that. You don't know that. There's people that they'll turn around, dead body or not. What's more interesting than that is that in a series and fiction that is like in love with redemption, you'll run into characters that the game makes no effort to redeem at all.
Okay.
And that's awesome.
I expect this, yeah.
Like, it's rare, but when they make zero attempt at all, and then they just kind of die or whatever, the game is telling you all that other shit was okay, but this guy, nuh-uh. Not this guy.
So the ones who don't get the attempt at redemption are a minority.
Okay. They are a minority, and the ones who don't even get attempt at redemption, they get it real bad.
Gotcha. All right. Fair enough. Now, speaking of expensive cutscenes, how fucking sick is Awano's suit? God damn, that thing is cash. It is so fucking nice. It's the purple suit with the texture on it, and he's just exuding the essence of the rawest fucking thug you've ever felt. And
you're gonna love that guy.
And apparently, the suit was originally supposed to be yellow, but the actor said, no, make it purple, because that's what the smell of the era was at the time.
Yeah.
Purple was the smell of the era. Of
that
the late
actor
80s.
Is a comedian. So it was shocking to see him turn in such a good dramatic role.
God damn. He's Silvio. He's fucking Silvio. It's great. Powerful.
That dude's totally going to be your favorite character. I'm just saying it right now.
I mean, well, right now it's a toss-up between him and Pocket Circuit Fighter. So we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see.
Woolie? So you actually like Pocket Circuit, right?
Pocket Circuit rules! It's the best!
So I hate Pocket Circuit.
It's so much fun.
I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like the way it
works. Kachina!
If you like Pocket Circuit Fighter, there's some value for you in the future. because that mini game just kind of refuses to die.
Long live Pocket Circuit. I'm all in. I'm all in. Of all the mini games, that one has fucking gripped my soul, dude. I love it. And shogi. I like shogi. But everything surrounding it is a masterstroke. Yep. Yep, in there.
Every single one of those games has at least one mini game that every single person goes, "Oh man." Like I remember Yakuza 3 had like an incredible golf game in it. Like it was just a legitimately fantastic Sega arcade golf game.
I did actually play Mahjong. I did actually start learning the rules, and I played a couple games of Mahjong, and I did very, very poorly, but I did understand a bit of what was happening. And I would say that the biggest problem with Mahjong is like simply recognizing the tiles. Like if there wasn't a struggle to recognize the tiles on their face for what they are, north, south, east, west, wind, you know, the dragons have the colors, so that's not as bad. But some of them are just, and then the count of the numbers, you know, your basic pieces from 2 to 8 or whatever, like the recognition is the number one problem with getting into the game. Shogi puts a little letter in the corner of the tile so that you can actually see like chess piece names and make sense of it. You know, in this case, it's like you're basically like, hey, well, memorize a couple kanji, you know, and yeah, it's doable. But I also generally, like I said, I prefer the chess like to the poker like, you know.
Let me ask you. You wanted to ask me about Like a Dragon.
Yes.
Something.
Yes.
What did you want?
Okay. So I'll just throw this out there, I guess, because I'm currently trying to figure out what to do here. But I have been contacted about doing something officially in regards to that game. And it would be weird to jump in the middle of what I'm doing right now. And it would be also weird to possibly jump from 0 straight to this thing just to take a look. But if it were just to take a look for a couple sessions, perhaps, would that be weird?
No.
Would it be fine?
Absolutely not. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Also Yakuza 7, I talked about this when I was going through it. 7 spends most of its running time. Ichiban was in jail for a long time, and he missed the whole Yakuza series.
Okay.
So it's doing that thing where he's ignorant, so new players can get in and be like, I don't know. And I would say, yeah, unless you're getting to like 80-90% through that game, you're good.
Okay. And then second is like, yeah, again, like if I were to do like, you know, couple hours in through the intro segment, that wouldn't be too weird.
No, you wouldn't get, like, plot wise, you wouldn't get anywhere. You would never even hear of the old characters.
Okay. All right, then I think that makes sense then.